Tēnā koutou katoa no mai, and welcome to the live stream of a Kōrero with local body candidates for the 2022 Ōpōtiki Local Body Elections. My name is Ivor Jones, and my family and I have been residents of Ōpōtiki since we moved here from Rotorua in 2011. As a resident that will be voting in this year's election on the 8th of October 2022, I was interested in asking the mayoral and council candidates if they would have a kōrero with me about who they are, why they have applied for the positions they have. I work in the digital media field, and the intention of this cast is to raise the awareness of the Ōpōtiki community in terms of the characteristics and qualities of those people who are seeking to serve the community. I have spoken directly to several candidates about this idea, and a number are supportive, including today's guest, Maude Maxwell. Tēnā koe, Maude.
Kia ora, Ivor.
A YouTube channel exists that will hold the videos of our conversation so they can be referenced in the future. All candidates receive the same 10 questions upon which our kōrero is based, which should be around 15 to 30 minutes in length. And I hope that you find it of value and are able to share it around with whānau and friends before the 8th of October so that people are aware. I would like to welcome Maude Maxwell. Maude is standing in the Ōpōtiki ward, where there are 3 vacancies and 7 candidates standing in total. Maude states that I want to play an active role with ongoing improvements of our Ōpōtiki district and its many facets. I see the position as an excellent way to involve the voice of our people of this community, but also the bigger picture of providing a better place for future generations. Tēnā koe, Maude. Who are you, and why are you running in this election?
Well, I'm born and raised in Ōpōtiki on a rural property, well known to the all Parauta. If you don't know where that is, it's the aerodrome area, Te Rere Pā, and just before Pākehī and Old Factory Road. I thought I'll highlight that because it's significant to me because I'm mana whenua. I'm locally schooled. I was locally schooled at Ashbrook School, known as Papa Te Whai today, and went to Ōpōtiki College. So I got my education here. I had a good upbringing, got great parents, and my father is well known to the community for his smoked eels and fish. So we've lived, all my life, we've lived off the whenua, the moana, the awa, the ngahere. So my dad is really resourceful, and I think that's missing today. And I'm a wife, nearly 30 years, so that says a lot for me in terms of having a relationship. And I am a mother of 6 and a grandmother to many. So I have my own immediate grandchildren, but I have been able to work along many children in whatever my work has been, professionally and personally. I'm well known to many. I've got lots of friends and whānau, and also play a large, I guess, role in the Ōpōtiki community page. A lot of people know me as the administrator. I'm actually the moderator, not the administrator.
Moderator.
Yeah. So a lot of people have come to know me through that. I try and bring a balance in terms of the comments, or what people call the moaning page. But in saying that, there's a lot of comments that have a lot of solutions. And that's the voice that I wish to bring to council. Yeah. I'm from the hapu of Ngāti Ngāhere. I'm a committee member. I'm also kaitiaki and on a cultural advisory group for the Regional Forum for Flood Management in our rivers. One of 4 for the extraction, gravel extraction and water extraction. So I'm on governance board. I'm a board chair as well. So I do have knowledge on what governance is and what management is and what it should be. Yeah. Yes, but I do affiliate to all 6 of the hapu of whakatōhea.
That's handy.
Yeah. Need to get in there.
That's handy to have links in all of the hapu, so that's pretty cool. Thank you, Maude. What do you see are the biggest challenges facing your community of Ōpōtiki?
One of the challenges that I hear in terms of that platform and our page is the illegal dumping and littering. So there's a kōrero in the Ōpōtiki News, yesterday's Ōpōtiki News, and I talked about that. So why I say and bring that up as one of the major issues, because it has an impact and risk on a lot of potential pollution to our rivers. Now, our rivers, you can't go to Wellington and just, jump in a river like you can here in Ōpōtiki. So we're very lucky and fortunate. But if we continue to see illegal dumping happening, we're going to get our waters full of pollution. Yeah. The climate change. And then we're talking about the rubbish, the current infrastructure or structure for the rubbish collection and management. So that is a major, because it just doesn't only impact on those, what I've just highlighted, but it can also impact on increase in the rates for our people, because if the council has to go and pick up the rubbish that's been dumped, then someone has to resource that.
I like the fact that you've identified straight up a specific platform or key topic that you're going to stand on, which is the illegal dumping that you've identified. Thank you very much. Do you have another one? Housing, is that correct?
Oh, housing is another one. Communication. There is many, and a lot of. If you have a look at the Ōpōtiki News article yesterday, everyone has highlighted key factors of challenges, and so when you're being asked to what are the challenges, but only given a limitation of 260 words, there's only pretty much one thing you can talk about, but there are many things, and all of what was shared yesterday are all the concerns that need to be presented on the table. So I wouldn't go to Chambers and say, hey, this is the only issue. There are a lot of issues, like the beautification of Ōpōtiki is, I live up Woodland, so I'm heading into town every day and I'm having to look at the bridge. Now, I want to get out with my family and just water blast, but there are complications to doing that, because traffic and all of that. But
Health and
it's not
safety, yes.
health and safety and everything. But, when you see that and nothing's getting done, wouldn't you just want to jump out of your car and then start water blasting there just to make it beautiful? Because that is a reflection of us as a community. If we get visitors coming in, we've got the harbour development, we've got the marina. So whilst we're developing that, where is the beautification of our town to ensure that's being uplifted at the same time? We can't forget what's over here. We've got to make sure that everything is being brought up to a
So
certain standard.
you've identified a couple of platforms or topics that you're quite hot on. By the end of the term, what do you hope to achieve?
Getting in, being elected for one, and then having an effective leadership. Yeah. So there's a couple of articles that I have actually kept from the Ōpōtiki News around statements that people have said, like some people not getting what they want is not that council hasn't listened. It's not so much about that. It's about, I guess it's misinterpreted as the transparency of the discussions that are happening and how you come about those, how you came to that decision is what the people want to hear. What we're not hearing, I'm part of that people, What I have never heard from council is, we spoke about this, but this is why we've made this decision based on this could increase on rates. This is just about how do we speak to our people. Yeah. So I think a better, effective leadership, a team that's going to be not dysfunctional, that is going to be working together. You need that. Otherwise, you're not going to get anything sorted on the table, for one. And that's not going to happen overnight. Being on a board chair myself, I had to work in with a new team, and that took a year and a half just to get that team working. But we had a framework on the table, and we knew what the purpose was. We knew that the children were as long as the interest was for them. So if you had that purpose and you're clear on that purpose, then everything that you do in council will impact, or
Flow
be of
from that,
benefit.
yes.
Yeah, it will be of benefit. But when you've got a dysfunctional team, it's not going to happen. So effective leadership, there's a whole lot of things, that I would like to do.
It sounds like you will be very busy, Maude, in your first 3 years if you became councillor. There's a long list of things that you'd like to work on, which leads us into question number 4. What do you think the role of local government is in shaping the future and success of the community of Ōpōtiki? What do you think the role of local government is in shaping the future success of Ōpōtiki?
I think, being a team for one, if I go back to that, and then we just need to put all those challenges that were in that article yesterday onto the table and then prioritize them. Yeah. And what of those challenges, which one can we actually prioritize over the other? Which one is going to cost little or have no cost, What ones are realistic and which one isn't? So it's thinking more globally. It's being honest, realistic, and authentic. That's what we need in terms of shaping our council. Well, that's what I believe. Yeah. Yeah. Hope that answers the
Excellent.
question.
Oh, you certainly did.
Oh,
What
and
number 4?
delegation is key because I guess for me is that if you look at everyone in that article, I mean, first of all, I take my hat off to everybody that's running for council because they are of value. I'm not here to dish one person from the other. I think whoever's elected in, they should be valued by the mayor, and you delegate. Those skills are going to go towards that portfolio that they could have and work towards. So should it be youth council? You have anyone that's of interest in that running for an election or for a council, you take them there and you say, hey, this seems to be your strengths. You can manage this portfolio and report back to this forum. And then we have our input into that. You know what I mean? Delegation is key. But if you're going to try and hold all these tasks, I'm not going to be able to do that. The saying is, it takes a village to support a family, not one person. Not me and you, Ivor. It's going to take more than. That's my belief.
Cool.
Yeah.
Question number 5. What do you think is your most important attribute that you see as an asset or contribution to the council table?
Well, like I said earlier, my full employment is as a relationship manager. So I hold portfolios with a wide range of providers or stakeholders. So that will be an asset in this regards. I'm able to find a balance, but also have a purpose. I'm been in my past work employment a mediator in family, family court and that kind of stuff as well. So those skills will be useful, I guess, in debates. Yeah. Not that it's up to me to manage, but I think, every person running for council is a leader. We are the role models for this community. We need to role model that. We need to act and behave like how we want our community to behave. So whilst we're saying our rangatahi, our ones that are not behaving or are troubled, but we're acting dysfunctional in a forum, it doesn't make sense, So don't run in the house, but then 10 seconds later you're running in the house. And I mean, look, like I said, I'm well known to the community Facebook page that everyone loves to comment on. But I also hold the community to account too. So this is not just about the councils. This is also a community responsibility in the illegal dumping, for an example. Yeah, what are you going to do? Are we just going to put the comments on the Facebook and not report it? The more you report, the more it becomes an issue. Yeah. The potholes in New Zealand, it's an issue right through New Zealand, right? But for the Ōpōtiki, I hear the comments being, we are not directly responsible for the potholes on the road. Well, whilst we're not, we can lobby because our people are saying it's an issue, right? I'll do anything.
So will you have the Waka Kotahi portfolio with you? Will you? Of
Probably.
the councillors? to get on the phone to Waka Kotahi and say, fix up all of those potholes.
Oh, definitely will. Yeah.
Hey, we're question number 5, and that's a good segue into this piece of information here. I encourage people to go and have a look at the website, Ōpōtiki District Council, odc.govt.nz. Button down here, 2022 elections. Go to your nominated candidates, and you can find Maude in here, along with all the other candidates and their portfolios. I encourage everyone to go and have a look. Maude has allowed me to show this. This is Maude's profile, which operates as a communication tool for Maude as well with her constituents. I encourage people to come and have a look. Cool. And our YouTube channel is slowly gathering content as we go. Maude's video will be added up here and it'll be shared around, and you can see it's slowly getting views around, which is the whole purpose of it. So thank you very much, Maude, for participating. Question number 6. How do you envisage working with others in council, especially those who you don't agree with?
Oh, look, like I said, I've been nearly married for 30 years, and my husband and I don't agree on everything, right? But we come to a place where, okay, that makes a lot of sense. We can walk away from whatever that discussion is, but come back. You need to be able to walk away, have time to reflect, kind of go to a space where, okay, why was Ivor saying that? I need to understand why his views are different, or it's just a matter of listening to one another. I would like to go away and think about what that other person's trying to say. I don't think it should be chaired in a way that you're not going to become hot-headed in this meeting. I hope it doesn't, because I don't do those meetings. I've been I guess my other name should be called the hui, because I'm always in a hui where I am. I have been in the last few years, but I don't believe I've ever come across anything that will make me feel unsafe. I will pull myself out of that, or say, hey, I think we need to stop the meeting. Like I said, we should not be just looking in for direction from the mayor or the chair, but we should also be looking at each other for support, because we are all leaders. Yeah. I've worked with I'm a relationship manager. I've got to be able to have a relationship of some sort to be working for an ex-politician. Who wants me to stay on, so I'm doing a good job.
Especially National.
Yeah. Yeah. So, like I've got to have, to some of these conversations that I have in my work is not easy, because it's challenging for me, because I see the ill treatment of our families, and then you want to go in gun blazing, but you really need to think about what is the best approach. How are we going to get a win-win? Yeah. So state your case and your reason for it, and the purpose for it.
Sounds like a bit of cognitive behavioral therapy going on there. CBT, a bit of CBT, reframing. What's the situation you got? Hold on. Before you snap anyone's head off, just reframe. Pause, Take a pause, take a breath, reframe, come back. What were they? What did they mean?
Yeah. Haven't you done that over in your relationship, hey?
Yeah, oh, yes.
Yeah.
Don't we all?
That's what makes a good relationship, though. 30 years. We're happy as, but honestly, we have to reframe a few things.
Our 7th question is, what are your thoughts around the role of local and central government? What could be improved?
For me, I see a dysfunction there too with the central government. Yes, if that's going to be, like I said earlier, how you role model and how you behave is how your local government is actually behave as well. I think we need to challenge them more. I think we need to be very clear on what it looks like for us in terms of local government. because it's not going to look like what Wellington looks like. Yeah, our waters are much better here. So if it's like with the three waters, I oppose that because I don't believe that's well thought out. I don't believe it's inclusive. It says on the first colourful diagram, it has mana whenua / council. That hasn't happened. I'm mana whenua. I'm kaitiaki of our river, and I haven't sat in that forum. Someone told me our iwi, there was a meeting with our iwi. Well, our iwi is not the hapu. The hapu still holds its own mana. The people that live currently on the land need to have an input because they see it every day. They wake up in the morning, they feel that land, that whenua, the river, however that looks. How can you have someone living somewhere else telling them what it looks like and how it should look? You have to be from mana whenua. You have to be part of mana whenua for that to, to be. Yeah, there is no consultation whatsoever. If there was, I would tell them that we actually have consent and we have a signed declaration that the waterways leading right up to Pākehī is with us, with mana whenua. I lost my uncle Chippy Apanui a couple of weeks ago, and he was the main person behind that declaration. So we hold all of that information, and that is not to be given to anybody. That stays with my whānau at Parauta.
Leading into question number 8, we're nearly there. Maude, we're nearly there. Number 8, how would you lead your community through challenging times such as a natural disaster?
Oh, natural disaster. Well, I'm the chairman for neighbourhood support for Ōpōtiki at the moment, have been for the last 3 years. So knowing who's where, part of the planning is having a relationship with the emergency management team. I think that needs to be better, though. We need more people on there. We need to be able to communicate a plan and a strategy that all our people are aware of. However, in a state of an emergency, I need to make sure that my family are okay first. Yeah, because I won't be able to be helpful to anybody. But I will be part of a team that will work under the direction of that emergency management team. Yeah, but I'm in those forums, so I go to them and I know, like we had one I think last year in March that was called for tsunami alert. Yeah, could it have been done better? Yep, because the traffic going towards the Waiweka marae was blocked. Yeah, we can only get better. So I'm happy to be in those forums to say, you always got to look at the worst case scenario so that your planning is based on that. If it doesn't happen, then we're fine. But if it does, we're ready. We have to be prepared. Yeah. But my answer to that would be take care of my family first, then come in and help the rest of the team.
Whānau hat, get the kids safe first, and then go and put your council hat on, and then do your council stuff.
Yeah. Oh, and I'm also on, like I've got a regional council meeting next week. I'm for the flood management in Ōtara River. Now, we know with the sea level and the rises, the climate change, what's happening. So we're currently doing workshops to, because the plan was this is what it looks like in 100 years, but that's coming closer. What they envisioned 100 years ago to happen in 100 years is going to be happening a lot more sooner. So, yeah, I guess I'm pretty lucky because this thing here, I put my nose in everything because I want to know what's happening with my community. So whether I'm a councillor or not, whether I'm elected in, because only the people can vote me in, I will still work in the best interest of the community outside of that forum because I'm on other forums.
Excellent, excellent response. I believe you are one of the, let me say, your response to that question was very clear about you know what you're going to do, what your role is in terms of your whānau, get them safe first, but you know exactly what you're going to have to do in terms of council, who you need to call, and the various disaster groups that are involved. I work for the local Māori Trust Board, and they were heavily involved in any natural disaster response. If anyone didn't know, there was a whole plan, and they had a very key relationship with the Ōpōtiki District Council. So there are lots of
Always to
bodies
be
that,
involved. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And I believe we've got hapu reps. So I represent the hapu as well for Te Rere.
Mm.
Yeah, but I know there's a plan. There's also been opportunities to walk through some of the emergency uh, processes. I don't think that's been communicated out well, and I think we need another one to happen, or a
Mm.
couple. Yeah,
Mm. Cool.
given the climate change. Yeah.
We're at question number 9. How do you plan to connect with all parts of the community and ensure that their voices are heard? There's been a theme of communication through your kōrero so far, but that's a
Mm.
specific question about it. How do you plan to connect with all parts of the community and ensure that their voices are heard?
Well, as you know, yeah, the community page, although otherwise known as the Mona's page, it takes when you look at it, you can see all the trends coming through. You can see the way that people are thinking. You can see what support needs to be there for the whānau. So it's bringing, I guess, the social services and all the other people that had the same value to support our whānau and communicate in those ways. Being involved in certain forums, which I am, like I said, I have been for 3 years, a little bit over 3 years for neighbourhood support, and just being involved in a whole lot of community activities, actions. There's a lot of promotions going on at the moment for awareness and being involved in all of those activities. So also being approachable. So what you would have seen in the last couple of weeks, of course, I've been working this week, so you wouldn't have seen me out and about, but Te Reo Hapori have made themselves available by going out and reaching out to the people like the rangatahi and the kura, and just saying, hey, or being on the street and saying, hey, look, I'm approachable. If you want to say something, I want them to think that if I was elected and I became a councillor, that, oh no, they can't talk to me. I'm certainly not going to be this person. And I'm not saying everyone else has been, but the councillor role will not change who I am. People are already approaching me. They already PM me and for help. I've done it all my life. That won't change. Yeah.
Mm.
So be approachable for one. Mm.
Our final question. Elected members must act in the best interests of their community and declare any interests that could be perceived as a conflict to being impartial. Do you have any interests that could be perceived as a conflict to being impartial?
I don't believe I have any conflict or perceived to be. Um, but it's always good to be, whatever the discussion is, to have a look at if there is any perceived conflict there,
Mm.
whether you think there might be or not. I think it's okay to say, I just need to have a look at this subject and think whether there is going to be a perceived conflict. Um, Even with my business, because I own my own business and I was a consultant working on behalf of, contracted by the courts or CYF to work in the best
Mhm.
interest for family. Nothing in council will be of investment for me anyway. Uh, yeah. And, in terms of there'll be nothing I could make in terms of dollars.
Mm.
What I would like from the council, though, I do have an investment in terms of people's well-being. That'll be the neighbourhood support safer communities, getting an initiative to support that. So if you perceive that as a conflict, but there's no
I've
money dollar value in it.
Yeah, I've served on a number of governance boards myself, and the way we
Mm,
deal with this conflict is: you got a conflict? Yeah. What is it? Okay. Yeah, we'll manage it. Right. So if a decision needs to be made, you need to leave the room, and then
mm.
we'll decide, and then you can
Yeah.
come back and
And
that's
I
how
do
we
that
deal
as a
with
chair at the moment. I do that as well.
it.
But whatever, if a person perceived that a certain discussion I'm in conflict, then I'll declare that just so that people are happy.
And you are wearing many hats right now, in your different role as
Mm,
your working role, your family role, your community role. So you have many hats on. Uh,
yeah.
yes, this question came around because of the big influence on disinformation and misinformation that's occurring in New Zealand. The infiltration, for want of a better word, a softer word, of local councils by the far right, the attempt to get involved. And I classify Voices of Freedom, or Voices for Freedom, and Freedom and Rights Coalition as far right. And you can Google that and have a look at it yourself. But it is prevalent, it is around, and that was one of my primary motivations for doing this, was to have this forum where councillors could answer these 10 questions. They can and they can declare that conflict if it is or not, and if it's part of their platform. If it's part of your platform while you're standing, great, kei te pai. Stand on it, be proud, and campaign on that. Don't try and slip it in under the back door and stuff.
Absolutely. I think that if you know you've got an agenda set for any discussion, then that's a conflict. Yep. Only interest I have is the well-being of the whānau. Yeah.
Hey, Maude, thank you very much. We're at the 30-minute mark, right on time for you. Thank you for giving me your time and for sharing your story as you work to become a councillor for Ōpōtiki in 2022. Thank you to whānau also for tuning in and watching this cast, where we hope to get all of the candidates up here so you can see them and listen to the qualities and characteristics that they have before you go to the ballot box on the 8th of October. So thank you very much. Ngā mihi, Maude. Thank you very much for sharing your time with me.
Thank you, Ivor.